Hello, I'm Heather Anderson, and I chose Thomas Paine and his contributions to the American Revolution as the topic of my paper. Thomas Paine, the editor for the Pennsylvania Magazine, author of Common Sense and the pamphlet series The American Crisis, contributed to a public sway in opinion and a boost in morale by putting into print what many colonists were thinking. This ultimately helped to unite a group of colonies into a new nation. Paine was born in Thetford, England, in 1737 to Quaker parents. Although Paine was not religious in his later life, his childhood provided a foundation in Quaker teachings and values. In The Age of Reason, Paine says, "My father, being of the Quaker profession, it was my good fortune to have an exceedingly good moral education and a tolerable stock of useful learning." Paine left England for America in 1774 and became the editor of Pennsylvania Magazine. Edward Larkin argues that writing and editing this magazine led to Paine finding his voice. He would write articles in a way that everybody could understand. In one issue, Paine discusses the military character of ants and how to get rid of them. Paine used this common everyday problem, ants, as an analogy to discuss the British and how to get rid of them. Writing in a way for common people to understand continued in his work when he wrote Common Sense. Instead of writing in the traditional classical style, which excluded the common man, Paine wrote in a simple way and persuaded the public with his writing. Larkin argues that Paine was successful because he was able to present sophisticated political ideas to general readership. By doing so, Paine created a more accessible and appealing political language. He also referenced the Bible in Common Sense, which most people read or understood to put his argument into terms that everybody could easily understand. Paine's Common Sense did not introduce new ideas about the design of government, the monarchy, or make a new case for American independence, but it did put those ideas into terms everybody could understand, leading to a public sway in opinion in favor of revolution instead of reconciliation. Throughout the war, Paine published 16 crisis papers between 1776 and 1783, which document the developments of the Revolution, ridicule the British, and plead with colonists to be aware of what they were fighting for. Perhaps the most famous of these papers was the first, in which Washington read to his troops on the banks of the Delaware before the Battle of Trenton. The opening lines are, "These are the times that try men's souls." Paine goes on to say, "The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph." This pamphlet is credited for boosting morale and is known as a testament of American courage. His final crisis paper begins with, "The times that tried men's souls are over, and the greatest and completest revolution the world ever knew, gloriously and happily accomplished." Paine ends with, "As the scenes of war are closed, and every man preparing for home and happier times, I therefore take my leave of the subject. I have most sincerely followed it from beginning to end, and through all its turns and windings, in whatever country I may hereafter be in, I shall always feel an honest pride at the part I have taken and acted, and a gratitude to nature and providence for putting it in my power to be of some use to mankind."